All right, and we're live. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first edition, the first episode of the Van Life Podcast. Now, to my knowledge, as in like a quick Google and YouTube search, I'm the only name out there with the Van Life Podcast. But if I do later on find out that someone else has that name, I apologize and I will kindly change my name. But right now, to my knowledge, to my little research, this is the Van Life Podcast. And if you guys are listening to me on Spotify or iTunes, or, if you're watching me on YouTube, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for spending some time with me. What's going on? Now, if you guys are watching me on YouTube, you can obviously tell right now that I am not inside a van. I'm not in front of a van. I'm not in some nice national park or whatever like that, because I have yet to embark on my van life journey. Now, I'm going to get into that a little after, but right now, let me just kind of introduce myself. My name's Steven Richard. I know some of you guys might already know me from YouTube, but so it might be a little repetitive, but it is what it is. So yeah, again, my name's Steven Richard. I'm 23 years old, just turned 23 on June 10th. Born and raised in a town or a city called New Bedford, Massachusetts. Lived there my whole life, went to public school, all that stuff, played sports, normal dude. I have a beautiful girlfriend named Erica Botello. You guys, again, if you guys have paid attention to my YouTube channel, you've probably seen her. She's made a few cameos in my videos. If not, you guys will definitely see her later on in further episodes of the podcast. And yeah, guys, so basically I just recently made the decision like a couple months ago. Well, I've been thinking about living the van life for a little over a year, but just a few months ago, I finally pulled the trigger and bought myself a 2002 Chevy Astro van. Now that thing is my baby. I can't wait to take her across the world and across the country. But there have been some hiccups along the way. Actually, there's really only been one hiccup along the way, and that is something that just happened a few days ago. So, me and Erica took the Astro van to New York City, which from where I live, it's like a 4.5 hour ride there, 4.5 hour ride back. And if anyone who's been to New York City knows that, going through the boroughs, Brooklyn and all that stuff, there's a lot of potholes. And, just driving in Manhattan alone, there's a lot of traffic. You're stopping and starting all the time. But the van handled very well. It has 124,000 miles. And to my knowledge, it didn't have anything wrong with it. But I wasn't naive. I bought the van for $2,500. It's a 17-year-old van. I knew there's got to be some things wrong with it. So I knew I was going to buy an older van. So I figured I would buy it cheaper. Because I gave myself like a $5,000 budget just to buy a van off of like Facebook Marketplace or whatever. So I bought this one for $2,500, brought it to a shop. The guy told me, hey man, there's no problems. It runs great. Congratulations, you got yourself a deal. And I was ready to spend about like $2,500 on this van to get it repaired and stuff, because I figured there's got to be some things wrong. But the guy told me, hey man, it's looking good. We just gave a full inspection. Here's your sticker. Everything passes. It looks great. So, I've been driving it around. If you guys haven't watched my van build, I'm just going to assume that you guys have never seen me before. So I have a van build series on my YouTube channel. I have 3 videos in that playlist right now. I've basically all of them are on the, wow, I just said that really weird, but basically all of them are on the floor. So I stripped the whole van out. I insulated the floor. I laid down the plywood and laid down the vinyl. I actually laid down the vinyl incorrectly. Kind of funny. I didn't know you're supposed to stagger the planks. Yeah, you're supposed to stagger the planks. I did not know that. So I did everything kind of like lined up, if that makes any sense to anyone who's ever laid down vinyl flooring, which probably isn't a lot of people. But then again, in the van life community, a lot of people have laid down vinyl. So maybe everyone watching this has laid down vinyl before. And coincidentally, the same weekend of me laying the vinyl in my van, I actually had to do a whole bedroom in my house. So I learned from my mistakes. Luckily, I did the bedroom correctly, because I got a freaking ear beating from people on YouTube and on Reddit. Like, yo, you laid that shit down wrong, especially Reddit. But, for the most part, people in the van life community are pretty chill. So no one was really being that much of a dick. But people just kind of definitely let me know that I didn't lay it down correctly. So there's that. Anyway, I forgot what I was going. Oh yeah, so I'm about the repairs and stuff on my van. So me and Erica brought it to New York City. It handled fine there and back. We spent the weekend. And then I get back and I let it sit for like a solid week in my driveway. I still like went out in the morning and turned it on for like 10 minutes, but I didn't like take it out of the driveway or anything, right? But I started it every day. It's not like I just didn't start the van for like a week. But then about a week later, I took it for a spin because I haven't drove it in a while, and about 10 minutes into the ride, I noticed the service engine soon light was flashing. So that is like my heart went into my throat. I was like, God damn it, what's going on right now? Hopefully this is nothing crazy. So I pulled over. I started looking around. Nothing really crazy, no noises. But then I started to notice that when it was idling, it was kind of bumpy. You feel me? Like it was definitely not like a normal idle. It was choppy, almost like a motorcycle, you know? So I I I took off, and then I noticed that it was actually kind of struggling to go from 0 to like 20 miles an hour. It wasn't kicking into gear like how a normal vehicle or how that van normally does. You know, I've driven it a decent amount. So I was like, all right, dude, this is bad. I was praying it wasn't anything serious. Like it wasn't like a transmission or something like that. Because that's the first thing I thought of. I don't know a lot about cars. But I was thinking, all right, if it's struggling to get up to 20 miles an hour and it's kind of kicking, that could be the transmission. I don't know. So nonetheless, I pull into my driveway, and when I pull in, I noticed there's a little oil leakage right there in where it was parked. So I was like, God damn it, dude. Shit keeps getting worse. So naturally, when you see an oil puddle, you look under the van, right? Obviously, you want to see where it's leaking from. And I did see that it was leaking a decent amount, but not too bad. But I saw where it was wet. But then I also saw something else. I saw that the suspension was like completely snapped. Now I forgot. I know the suspension's made up of like different parts and stuff. I forgot the exact name of this part. It's like a bar with a circle on it and another bar, and it snapped. The bar was not connected to the circular bar. If that makes any sense to you, that didn't look good to me whatsoever. So, kind of shit my pants a little bit to I don't know, say it lightly. So the next day I rushed it into the auto shop that I originally brought it to get it inspected and stuff. And the guy seemed like, I don't know, he just rubbed me the wrong way. It was like, he seemed like he wasn't too urgent, and he told me, oh, I can get you in next week. He didn't even like bother taking down my information. He seemed real like didn't really care. So that kind of struck me like, I don't know if I want to go to this guy. So my mom actually goes to a different auto shop on the other part of town or the city. And this place has like 5-star reviews on Google and stuff, on Yelp, all that stuff. Like it's a very busy auto shop that has a lot of good reviews. So I figured, why not? I went in there, and instantly I could tell this place was way nicer, dude. Like everything was high tech, dude. Like the waiting room almost seems like when you're like waiting for a ride in Disney World. I felt like I was waiting for like a car ride in Disney World. They got like engines hanging up in there. It's all like white, like there's like screens and shit. So definitely felt a lot more comfortable with them. And then I was talking to them. I told them everything I just told you guys, and the guy was real knowledgeable. The head mechanic actually owned 2 Astros, which made me feel real good about, you know, like trusting him and stuff. And for the audio listeners, I'm also drinking coffee right now. So if you hear weird sippy noises, that's me drinking coffee. Anyway, so so I really like this place. They take pictures and video and like with their iPads with everything they do with the inspection and every single step along the way of like what they do with the repairs. It's all documented video, pictures, and they break it down in detail, and they give you this like very in detail reports. So I was really happy with that, and they send them to you via text and email, all that good stuff. So feel really good with them. But the shitty part, which is kind of shitty but kind of good, well, I try to find a little good in everything, but it's an expensive fix. Basically, the spider injector in my engine is bad, clogged, burnt out. I don't know. It's bad. Otherwise, I think it's known as a fuel injector. The reason why they're called spider injectors, I don't know if it's just for Chevys, but it's because it's like 8 tubes that look like a spider. It was bad, and that basically is like very involved with the engine. Like it's a part of the engine. So in order to remove it and put a new one in, you have to like pull out the engine and take some parts, and it's like a really time-consuming job. So that alone, it's like an $800 fix. On top of that, the guy told me, dude, the suspension, he showed me all the pictures and stuff, and even showed me underneath the car. He's like, dude, it's all rusted. The ball, as you can obviously see, part of it snapped. Every single ball joint on this van is rusted out. This is a dangerous car to drive right now. Like, you should not be driving this. So just the suspension alone was like another like $1,500. The total fix is going to be $2,500. But at the end of the day, you know, this is going to be my home on wheels for the next extended period of time. And it's going to, like, it's what's going to allow me to travel the country. So, it's part of doing business. I bought it for 25, and coincidentally, I'm spending another 25 to fix it. So I'm actually exactly right at where my budget originally was, $5,000. So that's where I'm at with the whole van situation. So I would love to film my podcast right now, just even though it would be parked in my driveway, just like in the cargo part of my van. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that's the whole update on my van. I posted a video talking about this exact thing on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to get it back. I was supposed to get it tomorrow, but I called the lady today, and she's thinking a little bit later on this week. So it is what it is. They can take their time. But the second I get it back, I'm going to be right back 100% working on transforming that van, getting that build series back up there. So yeah, that's that. And speaking on like working on the van, some more exciting news. This is my last week at my job. I quit my job to travel the country and move across the country eventually. And it's a very good job. For those of you who don't know, my profession is I'm a video producer. I film and edit videos and put them out there. I worked for a company for the past 3 years. It was the first full-time job I got. It was right in my field. A great paying job, creative job, like everything someone in my field would want. But at the end of the day, I had this like entrepreneurial and just traveling itch that I know that, while I'm young, I want to attack. I'll get into those kind of topics. I don't know why I said that. Topics. I'll get into those topics a little later on, maybe in another podcast. I don't want to get too deep into this podcast. But anyway, I put in my 2 months because I know you're supposed to do 2 weeks, but the people there are real nice to me. I'm real good friends with everyone. So I gave them 2 months notice. I told them everything I'm doing. Got a lot of questions, so I actually posted a video answering a lot of those questions on my YouTube channel. I'm sorry that I keep referencing my YouTube channel, but just for the people who might be watching that's already seen my videos, I don't want to sound repetitive. But yeah, man, crazy, dude. Like, had the job that anyone would have wanted. Full benefits, great pay, in my field, a creative job. Leaving it. Last day is on Friday. So then once I'm gone on Friday, I'm going to work on my van full time, work on putting out content on my YouTube channel, working on this podcast, just getting that van ready to go. And then Erica, who's my girlfriend, she's leaving her job at the end of July. And then that's when we're getting up and getting out of here and starting our adventure. So I'm really excited, man. I got a lot of stuff ahead of me, man. There's so much. It's like, it's nerve-wracking, but it's exciting. Like I think the worst part of working a 9-to-5 job the past few years was it got so repetitive. And that's like everything that you don't really want in life. Some people like safety and repetitiveness. I understand if you have a family and stuff and you want to, save and you have a mortgage and all that. Repetitiveness and stuff, like, I don't know, people like it. It's safety. Personally, me, I hate repetitiveness. Like, I felt like every single day I was doing in-school suspension. That's what it felt like. And I had a lot of those in school, and that was the worst punishment. I'd rather just get suspended, but no, the worst punishment, in my opinion, in school was in-school suspension. You just sit down in an office or in a room all day. And that's what a 9-to-5 job felt like to me. A 9-to-5 office job. It's just like you're sitting down in an office all day. It was brutal. In my opinion, it's like mental prison. Anyway, changing gears. So something I wanted to do on this podcast, some things you guys can expect. I feel like I should, I got some ideas in my head, and I just kind of want to throw them out there to everyone who wants to listen, right? So while I'm on the road, I want to interview a lot of people that I meet, other van lifers, there's other travelers, other people I meet along the road in different areas. I feel like that'd be a really cool thing. Maybe I can meet up with some other YouTubers and stuff. And speaking of other YouTubers, another segment on the podcast I want to have is just like my favorites, or like my top 3 or whatever, And I figured, as someone who's starting a van life or traveling YouTube channel, I figured I would share with you guys my 3 favorite van life YouTubers. Now, disclosure, they're all dudes, and I understand that there's like all sorts of awesome girl van life YouTube channels, YouTube van lifers. I understand that, but I just feel like it's almost natural that like guys kind of watch more guys on YouTube and girls watch more girls, if that makes more sense. Like, I watch girl van lifers all the time, and I watch tons of girl YouTubers, but I don't know, I feel like for the most part, dudes watch more dude YouTubers and girls watch more girl YouTubers. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but it's just something I've noticed. Like I saw my girlfriend's YouTube homepage, and like all the suggestions and like recommended and all the people she subscribed to, it's all chicks. It's not sexist, it's just natural, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, especially like fitness. I feel like, especially fitness. Who cares? Who cares, Steve? Anyway, moving on, back to the topic at hand. So I figured I'd share with you guys my 3 favorite van life YouTubers, 3 people who have inspired me to start my van life YouTube channel, and actually have inspired me to travel and live the van life itself. So coming in at number 1, as of right now, arguably my favorite van life YouTuber, maybe even my favorite YouTuber at the moment, it's got to be Van City Van Life. Chrome, what's his last name? Is it Velasquez? My bad, I'm murdering his last name. I just know him as Chrome from Van City Van Life. And in my opinion, that dude is killing it. He's reminding me of like the OG Casey Neistat when he used to daily vlog. It has that same kind of vibe to his videos, just very nice, like energetic, awesome personality that's just kind of documenting what he's going through on a day-to-day basis. Even if it's not necessarily the most fun thing, still documenting it and putting out awesome content on YouTube. So dude's definitely crushing it. I love his van build. He has himself a Chevy, I think it's a Chevy Express. You know, it's not the typical like Mercedes Sprinter van that you see all over YouTube. And it's like a really awesome guy. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but one thing that I noticed off the bat when I first saw his YouTube channel is it almost seems like his personality doesn't match what he looks like, which makes it makes it more interesting. I don't know how, like, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's just he seems like a big tough guy, like a biker looking dude, and he's like such a kind-hearted, nice dude. Loves his dog, and there was a heartbreaking video of his first dog who passed away, and like he got real emotional in it. And like, I don't know, man, he seems like a real dude that like he's not putting on a show. A lot of people seem like they're putting up like a show on YouTube to try to get like hipstery and stuff, but he's a real chill dude. So definitely recommend checking out Chrome. Oh, what is his last name? I think it's like Chrome Velasquez. I could be totally wrong, but Van City Van Life, he has like 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. As of right now, I'd probably say he's like my favorite YouTuber on YouTube. Definitely my favorite van life YouTuber. So that's coming in at number 1. Number 2 for van lifers on YouTube, I'd have to go with Dave 2D. Now, out of the 3 that I'm about to name, Dave 2D, I've definitely watched his videos the longest, and that dude's hilarious. And I think one thing I love about Dave 2D is like he's the complete opposite. Like the complete opposite of like all the other like van life, trendy, Instagrammy, like man bun vegan YouTubers that you see in the van life space. And it's funny because he like roasts all those guys, and the dude is like genuinely just a naturally funny seeming dude. And I feel like anyone who's like getting into van life or is interested in this, or just, I don't know, you just like watching YouTube videos, definitely check out Dave 2D. That guy is hilarious. He's kind of like if I'm going to say that Van City Van Life is like the Casey Neistat of van life, I would have to say that Dave 2D is like the H3 Productions, the Ethan Klein of van life. Totally funny, does reaction videos. Definitely recommend checking him out. Number 3, I would have to say, I have a lot. It's a tough one. I would probably have to say, now again, if I'm mispronouncing his name, I'm sorry, but Levi Allen or Levy Allen, I don't know. I think he has the most subscribers out of the 3. He has like over 100,000 subscribers. He's more of like if I had to compare him to like a more popular YouTuber, I would probably compare him to Peter McKinnon. Now, a lot of people who aren't into like the creative field, like photographers or video, you might not know who Peter McKinnon is, but he has a really good following. He has like 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube. Anyway, that has nothing to do with that. That's like if I had to compare him. I'm thinking of like when like during the NBA draft, when they draft players, they'll tell you like, oh, the pro reference is Jimmy Butler. Like this guy plays like Ben Simmons. I don't know. That's just me getting sidetracked to ADD real quick. But yeah, so Levi Allen, I think his name, Levy Allen, Levi Allen, I don't know. Allen's definitely right. That's definitely his last name. But yeah, so he's like a more he's like a filmmaker, cinematographer, and he's really talented. He actually has the same camera I have. I used to shoot for my camera nerds. I used to have a Canon C100 Mark II, but I recently switched to the Panasonic Lumix GH5, and a big reason why I switched is from watching Levi Allen's videos. He has a bunch of videos reviewing the Panasonic GH5, but not only that, he does van life, he travels with his girlfriend, all that stuff. I think he has a Mercedes Sprinter van, and just like a real chill guy. Like another reason why, besides the fact that he's like really into like cameras and cinematography, another reason why he reminds me of Peter McKinnon is because he just seems like a very friendly dude. And he kind of looks like him too, got the long hair and stuff. But yeah, Levi Allen, definitely a very cool, cinematic, vibes. So I like his videos. Big fan. So yeah, Van City Van Life, Dave 2D Vlogs, and Levi Allen. This, if no one cares, it is what it is. But just at the moment, those are my 3 favorite van life YouTubers. Now I understand that there's like a whole other genre, and I'm not against these guys. Like the, what do they call, like the Emin and Beck. Why am I so bad with names? I don't know if it's because there's a camera on me right now, but I'm just terrible with names right now. But yeah, I know there's a whole genre of like the Mercedes Sprinter, like the dude with the man bun, like the vegan. I got nothing against dudes with man buns or being vegan at all, but like it gets kind of repetitive. Like kind of like when Casey Neistat kind of broke up on the scene and he kind of started that whole style of daily vlogging. You then saw a million people posting vlogs just like him, you know, like real close to the screen with the time lapses and the electric music, and it was like so obvious that people were just trying to be him. So I don't know who the first man bun vegan and Mercedes Sprinter was, but I've just seen too many channels like that, and personally, that's not my personality. I do watch some of those channels. Like, I think it's Emin and Beck. I think that's their name. Like, I respect their work. Like, they seem very authentic, and they seem very hardworking, and they're really dominant in the van life space. I wouldn't list them as my favorites, but they're definitely a good notable mention because you gotta appreciate hard work. They seem like nice people, and I don't know. They have a pretty dope channel. I've seen a lot of their travel videos, so gotta put some respect on their name. So yeah, hopefully that'll be a nice ongoing segment on my channel, is, you know, just my favorite top 3, maybe when I'm traveling, like top 3 things I liked about the Grand Canyon, or whatever, top 3 things I liked about New Orleans. So yeah, just, I don't know, maybe that'll be a catchy segment. Anyway, moving gears. So let me talk about some of this stuff. I don't want to make this podcast too long. It's just like an introduction podcast. But, so I figured I'd share some of the stuff I got so far from my van life, collection, some gear I got. If you guys, I'm not going to mention anything that I already have in my existing like 5 or 6 van life videos. So, so yesterday, me and Erica went to Walmart, and we love Walmart, and I understand that a lot of people who are on the road love spending nights at Walmart, but we got ourselves a table, which is actually the table I'm using right here. It's a nice little Walmart table. Now, I forget I think Coleman makes the real tables like this, and they're like $50. I was about to buy one at Dick's Sporting Goods, but something about getting a plastic fold-up table for $50 just seemed a little bit too expensive for me. I didn't want to pull the trigger. I figured I'd wait. Maybe I'd find something on Amazon or at IKEA or at Walmart. And nonetheless, we went to Walmart next. Found the nice, just knockoff Walmart brand of those fold-up tables. I think it was like $25, dude. It works pretty good. We've used it a couple times. We've cooked on it, and seems to be all right. So, after it takes a beating on the road and at campsites and stuff, I'll give you guys an update on the table. But $25 fold-out table. I think it's called like Lifetime. Or is that the real brand? I don't know. Yeah, seems to work. So $25 fold-up table, plastic table. Seems pretty nice. Also at Walmart, we got these cool chairs, these nice, they're called director chairs. So we were going to get like the traditional tent chairs where you kind of like slouch, and it's pretty comfy. You can get yourself like a footrest. You got the little netted like cup holders and all that stuff. But then we were thinking about it, like, I don't necessarily, if I'm just going to have like one chair, I don't necessarily want to be like slouched back. You feel me? Especially if I'm like editing and like, or recording videos or cooking or eating or writing or whatever it is. Like, I kind of want to have some like back support, dude, you know? So we found these, they're called director chairs. They're sold at Walmart. They're the Walmart brands. And they even have like, I wish I can show you guys. They got like this dope little like fold out tray on the side with like a little cup holder and stuff. And like little thing you can put your phone and stuff there. Pretty awesome, very sturdy, and they fold up like straight up and down, like very thin, so you can definitely slide them maybe under your bed, or like, I don't know, like a very tight, they fold up pretty tight, not as tight as like a traditional camping chair, but I think it's worth the space. We'll find somewhere in a little Astral. If we can find somewhere in a little Astral van, you can find it in your Chevy Express or your Volkswagen or your Mercedes Sprinter or whatever, your Dodge ProMaster. So yeah, definitely recommend. These were $17. I don't know if I mentioned that already. So what was it, like $34 for the both of them? Pretty nice. Also, something that we picked up at Walmart is, I wish I had it on me. Actually, it's over there. It's the little individual Coleman burners. Now I know they sell the 2 burners that everyone knows with the propane, but we actually decided to go with the butane. Now, maybe that was a bad decision. I don't know. Maybe I'll find out later on down the road that propane's better, because from what I saw, there's definitely more propane than there are butane stoves. I don't know why that is. Maybe someone wants to tell me in the comment section or whatever. But we went with the butane because, one, everything folds into like a little tiny suitcase box, and the butane goes inside the stove. There's a little compartment that opens up and closes. And I really like that, because all the butane stoves that I saw, like the butane kind of just like awkwardly stood on the outside, and it just seemed like it took up a lot of space. So we got the butane. It was only $20, and we used it yesterday to cook dinner, and it worked really well. Now, it is just one burner, so we're thinking about getting a second one, just having two little portable butane stoves. But from what I could tell from cooking on it once yesterday, really good build quality, and it got really hot. We had it on minimum, and it got really hot, so worked pretty well. So yeah, those are some things. Oh, that was what I got yesterday. My favorite thing that I bought so far that I've used a ton, even though I'm not on the road yet, is my Jackery Explorer 240, I think it's called. A battery, external battery or portable battery. And I also got the solar panel. I think it's a 60-watt solar panel. It's orange and it folds. Dude, I'm going to make a video on my YouTube channel about those, a review, because I feel like a lot of people get so complicated with their solar power builds and stuff. They got like everything nailed and screwed into their roof, and they got wires running down, then they got inverters and all that stuff. And like, if you know what you're doing, that's fantastic. Like, I'm sure that's a better alternative. I mean, I'm positive it is. But for someone like myself, who I have no background, and like, I'd rather feel the comfort of like, I know how to troubleshoot. Like the way the Jackery battery source is set up, it's so easy. Like there's a little port to plug it in, whether you're charging it through your 12 volt in your car, you're plugging it into the wall, or you want to plug it into a solar cable thing, a solar panel. And other than that, it's just like it has USB ports and a wall port, and that's it. And then a little lighter port too. Very simple. No extra cables, no screwing anything into anywhere. It all folds up, very compact. And it's just very straightforward. So for an idiot like myself that has no idea what they're doing with solar energy, very nice. And I've used it a ton already. It's weird. Like, I charge my phone on that more than I do like plugging into a wall at my house. Like, I kind of do it on purpose because I really want to see like how good it works and like how practical it is. I think I'm gonna get a second one because I do have a Max Air fan, and I think I'm just gonna be running my Max Air fan on one of them, and then have the other one just for like charging my laptop and my phone and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to make a whole review video on my YouTube channel about the Jackery. I am a big fan, and actually shout out to Chrome from Van City Van Life. I knew about Jackery before I saw him promoting it in his videos. He's an ambassador for that brand. But I don't know, like seeing someone I trust on YouTube promoting it, and then like I really started digging into their brand a lot more once I saw him. Like, it was kind of like I saw Jackery online, and then like a couple days later I was watching a Van City Van Life video, and he started talking about Jackery. I was like, oh, no shit, huh? So it kind of like made me look into it more, and it was kind of like a trusted voice, so I pulled the trigger, and no complaints, dude. Honestly, Jackery, it's kind of like just brand recognition. It's like Yeti or Apple or Nike. You know, it seems like you can trust Jackery, anything they put out. I think I'm going to also buy those little like stick portable things that can like give you one good charge in your phone. They sell those for like $17 a piece. So I think I'm going to go with Jackery for those, just because I'm a big fan of my Jackery 240. And they also are now collaborating with Honda. I mean, dude, Hondas are like tanks. Those things last forever. Anyway, so there's a lot more stuff I got, but I don't want to run too long. If you guys made it to the end of this episode, I really appreciate you guys. Obviously, I have no sponsors yet on this podcast because this is my first episode, so I'm sponsoring myself. So if you guys want to show some support to my podcast or my YouTube channel, just click subscribe and help your boy out. And that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Hopefully see you guys on my YouTube channel. Hope you guys have an awesome day. If you guys are already on the road van lifing it up, I'm super jealous. And if you guys are, working or at your office job, just contemplating it in your head, or you're laying down in your bed at night thinking about starting the van life, just do it. Why not? I'm more afraid of my regrets than I am of my bad decisions. And that's what I'm going to leave you guys on for today's episode. Peace.